Welcome into Unrivaled, the Penn State Football Stories, Season 6, Episode 10 Rewind, brought to you by Pepsi. Our guest today is first-year offensive coordinator for Penn State, Kirk Ciarrocca. Kirk, take us back to last season. What do you remember about the week leading up to Penn State versus Minnesota?
It was an exciting time. It was a huge football game for both programs at the time. It was a chance for Minnesota to kind of put its name on the map. And it was going to be a great environment, and it's really what college football is supposed to be all about.
Welcome everyone to Minneapolis for what is the biggest game in TCF Bank Stadium. Minnesota hosting number 4 Penn State. It is early. It is cold. It is a critical Big Ten battle.
We knew that it was going to be a great challenge, that we were going to have to play our best football by far and away to have an opportunity just to give us a chance to win the game against Penn State.
Today they face a team everyone knows, Penn State. The 4th-ranked Nittany Lions are 8-0.
Everybody knew Penn State's defense was going to be legit, and they are.
We used the boxing analogy as we were approaching the game. And we talked about that, hey, we're a ranked contender right now. But we got a chance to fight one of the top-ranked contenders for the title. And if you want to win a title, you got to go and beat these guys.
What were the challenges of playing Penn State, especially when you had to go up against Brent Pry's defense?
I couldn't have imagined trying to get ready for him, all the different looks and pressures that he gave you in 1 week. I was like, thank goodness that we had this bye leading into the game to give us just a little bit of extra time. He has a lot of talented players too, that he does a great job of accentuating their strengths. And that was probably the biggest thing that jumped out at me.
And there's a strong sense of brotherhood in this room right now. Stronger than it's been since I've been here. That's a credit to you guys. The work you're putting in together, the friendships you're building, the relationships, holding each other accountable.
One guy that continues to be amongst the elite in college football is Micah Parsons. What makes him one of the top defenders in the game?
With Micah, if he was a baseball player, they would call him a 5-tool guy. He does everything at a really high level. And on top of that, he's a dangerous pass rusher.
He's in trouble and sacked, Micah Parsons.
But he's also dangerous when he drops in pass coverage because of his speed and his instincts. You know, he always seems to be around the football and in the right spot.
Coach, what was it like playing a chess match against James Franklin and company during this game?
For me, you know, getting a chance to coach against one of the best. So that was exciting, you know, to have an opportunity to match wits and really honestly get a chance to prove yourself.
Corner touchdown, Minnesota.
On target there, KJ Hamler. That might have been a touchdown.
21-yard attempt to close the half, and the kick by Pinniger is good.
Kirk, what adjustments do you recall Penn State making in that game?
At halftime, Brent did a great job of calming his players down.
Start fast. We get to take the field first. We take the field first. Start fast, play physical, take these minor adjustments. Let's get him to 3rd and long, and we'll like where we are. That plan hasn't changed.
I just thought they came out in the second half and played within themselves and complemented each other really well.
Shannon Brooks tried the middle, unsuccessfully, loses the ball as he hit the ground. The quarterback, Morgan, trying to get it back, but Penn State has it.
When you have two really good teams playing against each other, like, it's a real fine line now. The biggest difference was their players just executed a little bit better than us in the second half.
Good hustle and rally to the football that time by Penn State. We've just seen a much different Penn State defense here in the 3rd quarter.
We all know that there was probably 15 plays in that game that just a minor little thing and the game could have turned the other way.
And Sean Clifford take them 72 yards for a dramatic victory.
This is what you live for if you're a quarterback.
On target, Jahan Dotson inside the 20 and down at the 10-yard line.
We've been wondering where he's been. We know what kind of talent and ability he has. Biggest play of the ball game.
Looking for their first lead of the day. Must have a touchdown. Steps up in the pocket, a lot of time, delivers down the middle. Intercepted in the end zone by Benjamin St-Juste.
From what you've seen from that post-game locker room speech, what did you learn about Penn State that day?
That talk of him in the locker room with his team kind of personifies him.
Everybody take a deep breath right now. Everybody. I know we got a lot of guys hurting. Eyes up right now. I know everybody's hurting. I know the emotions are raw. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the things that we need to correct, because this is not the time for this. It's not the time for it. I don't want to hear anybody say they're sorry to especially me. Because you guys give us everything you got all the time. When we're disappointed in an outcome, we take a minute and we all look inward. And just so you guys know, I'm talking about myself, all of us. We all look at ourselves and be very honest. Say, what can we do better? What can I do better? Because if we all take that approach, we'll get a lot better. So take a minute, and it's okay to feel this. You should feel it. You shouldn't block it out. Feel it. And let's use this for fuel to make sure we don't feel like this very often, if not ever again.
He was authentic, right? He didn't try to hide his feelings from his players. So he spoke from the heart.
I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. The scoreboard will never change that, ever. It always starts with I love you.
Always ends with I love you.
And that ain't ever changing. Through good times, through bad times, through success and failures. That ain't ever changing. That ain't ever changing. That is never changing.
His authenticity comes out when he speaks to his team because of his relationships he has with them. College football is a business, but you have a choice how you want to run your business. It can be all business or it can be a family-owned business. And I think Penn State is definitely a family-owned business, and it starts with him and his commitment to relationships. To me, that's important, and that's somebody that I wanted to work with and work for and be a part of that program.
What has impressed you most about James Franklin's leadership style?
The direction always comes from the top. The philosophy, the culture at Penn State is never going to change as long as Coach Franklin is the leader. That was one of the reasons why I came to Penn State. You know, I was in a great situation at Minnesota. There was certain parameters in my mind that I would only leave for. One, I was looking for a program on the cusp of winning a national championship. So Penn State met that criteria. And then the other thing was I wanted to make sure that I was aligned philosophically with the head coach from an X's and O's standpoint and from a cultural standpoint. Our job is really to develop men and to give these players the tools to be successful in every aspect of their life.
There's so much that goes on off the field as far as development and getting these guys ready for life after football. This event helps them with that.
It's really important because, I mean, like Coach Franklin always preaches, it's not just about football, it's about life itself. So when you leave here after 4 years and you want to find a job, you want to, build a family and have a house and a car, you got to start here with a career fair.
But I also thought about, too, was that I have a chance to be a part of history, right, and do something that's bigger than football. When we win that national championship at Penn State, Coach Franklin's going to be the first African-American head coach in college football to win a national championship. And to me, when I thought about that, I was like, wow, that's bigger than football. That's history.
Kirk Ciarrocca, first-year offensive coordinator for Penn State University. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Been great.